it's just, they're great folks to work for, and it just kind of trickles down, so it's a good group.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I've tried to emphasize, and it came from the commission, is treating our citizens with respect when they come to City Hall. And sometimes, you know, people get upset when you tell them they can't do something, or they're going to have to cut your water off if you don't pay your bill. But we emphasize, do it with respect. Don't let your emotions overtake you. If you feel yourself getting angry, step back and let the supervisor take over. Because I think, you know, people are in hard times now, and the more respect or care you can show for them, the better off we feel. So, you know, that's one of the things I've asked all the service delivery people is that even we took Greg Friends. I don't know if you remember Greg. He worked for the city, and he's doing a really good job trying to enforce the building codes and still be business friendly. So we're really trying to be respectful with everybody that came in. I know Mayor Golden, Scarlett Golden always said, you know, you can get a lot of things done with respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all about respect. And I tell you, Greg, because he was with Daytona Beach there for a while too, fantastic. A lot of great things that were done in terms of code enforcement, and doing it in such a way that people understood what it was you wanted, what you needed to have happen. I mean, it was not a heavy-handed type of a thing. It was really, we're here to help. And, you know, we care about the city, and we know you care about it too. Now, the budget is still an issue, and you guys also, along with some other eastern cities from the census, ended up losing folk over the past 10 years. What is it that you think, what's the greatest impact in terms of that? Because I know sometimes it does relate to dollars, you know, funding, and it also can impact some departments probably more so than others. But what is the plan in terms of trying to maybe build that population, to build it back up and maybe expand upon it? Or are you guys kind of happy with the size of the city, kind of where it is?
Well, we lost in the last 2 years $200 million in value. And that's a lot of value to lose. And when you lose that value, you still have to pay your employees' retirement, you still have to pay your, you know, run your machinery and all that, so it forces you to have to go to rollback, and we don't always, you know, we don't enjoy having to go to rollback, but we have to do that just to keep our head above water. If we go to even, we have to cut something, and we had to cut almost $600,000 out of the budget this year. But one of the things that I think Mark emphasized several times, our employees step up and they say, we understand. And that makes the city manager's job a lot easier.
Yes, yes.
The fire and the police and the public employees say, you know, we know we have to take a little hit here, and we'll take our part, and hopefully it won't be this way forever. But we lost citizens, and we think a lot of it was related to the loss of construction people that were working on Marina Grand. And but you know, trying to look at something in a positive light. We hope that Marina Grand will now turn around. It's called MG on the Halifax. They're doing promoting. We're in that area trying to do some improvements, and we're trying to rebuild that $200 million that we lost. And I don't know if we'll ever get it back. You know.
I also read where that MG property that they were actually talking about moving forward with the other one. That's not really anywhere in the near future, is it? When you're not feeling the one you got, you know, it's.
Somebody years ago started a rumor that MG was, or Marina Grand was leaning. That is not true. It is not leaning. That's a wives' tale that somebody put out years ago. It is not leaning. Whoever put it, must have been another developer put it that way. But
I think somebody went there with a model or something and did this kind of exercise, whatever, but it's not leaning. Okay.
That's right.
Wonderful. Is it, do they have a lot more occupants at this point?
Well, they told me that sales are really picking up, and they're going through a transition. You know, the people that had it were just the bank holding it, got behind on a lot of stuff, but the group that originally started it, Sverdlow out of Miami, came back in and bought it out and is putting quite a bit of money in it. They just pulled a building permit for 38 slips. They're going to build a big marina, and they want to build a $5 million convention center slash hotel or swimming pool. So they're spending the money on it, and they're getting active about promoting it. So I feel confident. I don't know, Mark, you will deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful. Robert, I don't think there's anywhere quite like it, Eastern Volusia County. But yeah, there are so many wonderful things that are happening in town. We're about to break ground on our Community Resource Center, which is located directly across the street from City Hall with the old Holly Hill Library property. We will have what is called the Market, which is a complete renovation in 3 phases of the old Law Center, which is there at 3rd Street.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Or 2nd Street rather, in Riverside. It's a beautiful building, and one of the few, like City Hall, is one of the few remaining original concrete, or I'm sorry, coquina structures that were built back in the 40s. So we're glad we were able to keep that, and it's going to be an upscale place for meetings, a venue for civic events and music and some great things. And I think ultimately that will be kind of a mixed use with some retail and some other things in there. So there's so many things that are going on that around town. And you know, since Jim came aboard, one of the things that I've been most happy with is, you know, we're living in very, very difficult times financially, but all of us have had to cut back at home. Our employees are now, I think, on year 4 without any substantive increase to wages or benefits. And but one of the things that he has not given into that I think is very important for public officials and our civic leaders is not to give into this fear mongering. Things will get better when
absolutely.
Events
and it's starting, really.
We live in the greatest country in the world. We've got good people that are committed to doing the right thing at the local level here, and things will get better. I just want people to hang in there and know that we're trying diligently to do the right thing. We're saving and cutting where we can. Mr. McCroskey said we've got some $600,000 out of this year's budget. I think it's a good budget. It will come in right where we need it to be to continue to provide those core services that are so important to the citizens and the things that they look for out of us. And a lot of that, again, comes from just the incredible commitment of our employees. And I know the folks in the police department, I can't say enough about them. They're all my heroes. They do a wonderful job. And we have so many wonderful volunteers, too.
Oh, yes.
Reverend Edwards has been so kind to me for so long, and he runs our Chiefs Advisory Committee with several other pastors in the area, helping me better understand some issues that are sometimes hard to get a handle on. So I think working together, things are really looking bright for the future of our city.
Amen. Tough question. Ad valorem taxes, are you eliminating them, or is this just not the time?
One of the things that the City Commission wanted us to talk about was,
let me say very quickly, let me do my little announcement. I gotta do this so Big John will kill me. You're listening to Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards. This is WLE 1380 AM on your radio dial in Ormond Beach, Florida. And my guests again are Mark Barker, who is police chief, and Jim McCroskey, who is the new city manager for the city of Holly Hill.
Ad valorem taxes, the commission's directed me to look at alternative sources for ad valorem taxes. And, you know, we're limited somewhat by what the legislature allows us to do, but we've agreed to think out of the box and look for some ways to reduce or eliminate ad valorem taxes. That's been my challenge. There's certain cities that don't have ad valorem taxes. I'll be visiting with those city managers, finding out how they function. But it's not doing away with taxes, because, you know, what do you want to do away with? You want to do away with police